Chung Kan Du is a famous artist in Liaodong, who went to the south to compete in perfume. I heard that in Phian Vong and number 39's palace, there was a Taoist who knew about people and number 39's misfortunes and misfortunes, so he was eager to see clearly the bad and bad things, but still hesitated, so he called a young man named Cat Nha to come and said, I want to go, but I am number 39. Am afraid that because I am number 39, am an educated person. If I like those three things, I am number 39. Lose face. Cat Nha slowly replied, from ancient times until now, many dukes and Khan generals have wished to know about it. In the future, if no one is going to do anything, why should we be sad? When in the physical world, there is less joy. More turbulence. When others only know that being noble is important. Kan Du suddenly became silent for a moment, then weakly said, even so, I am still a famous artist of this generation. Could it be that the world over there is covered in scandal? When Cat Nha heard that, she opened her eyes to look at Kan Du, and saw the blank expression on her face as if she had something difficult to think about, so she whispered to her, I want, but if you are afraid that people will know your wishes, so much so that you have to hide them, then you are truly a person who knows how to look back and look ahead. I know that I am an educated person, imbued with the teachings of saints and sages, so I know how to weigh things lightly. If I don and number 39, dare to look at them because I am number 39, am afraid people will talk about them, then I am truly a person who knows how to put in small things and gather big things, who knows how to sacrifice personal things to pursue. Big deal. However, because of fear of losing face, I lie. Lying to someone who lies to the point of my body, that lie turns out to be better than the truth. Thinking so, Cat Nha smiled brightly, then boldly replied, if there is something to say, what? Just blame it on your child, then you don and number 39. Have to worry about anything. Kan Du nodded and replied, fence what you eat, so you must fence. Carefully, so that your children and grandchildren will still have fruit to eat. You can and number 39, just eat forever. A few days later, Kan Du went to see the Taoist monk, and saw many people crowded around. It seemed like even flies could n and #39 get through. Kan Du didn't and #39 know what to do, so he sadly said to himself, it and number 39 a disaster in the forest. Can a person who is like an ant like this still hide it? Then, as he was about to leave, he suddenly saw a crowd of Taoist monks running towards him. Looking back and forth, then cheerfully said, in human treasure. The most precious thing is virtue. Now that the donor has duck, why worry anymore? Then he conveniently pulled Kan Du into the house to talk. After chatting for a while, he suddenly looked at Du and number 39's face and cautiously said, shoes still have a fate, let alone a person and number 39's life. Now that the donor and I are destined to meet again, why not help each other with a word or two of death guesses? What do the donors think? Kan Du hesitated because he didn't and #39 know how to prepare his teeth properly. Suddenly I heard the Taoist gently continue, if you are not honest with yourself, how can you be honest with others? The donor wants it in his heart, but on the outside he acts like he doesn't and #39 dozen and hash 39 T that make people more curious? Kan Du quickly replied, I am a famous scholar of Liaodong, so I vow to consider. Qualifications as important throughout my life. Now that I have come to this land, I have heard that the Taoist priest has such miraculous powers. Knowing the future, my heart is filled with admiration. Unfortunately, if I rush in to tell fortunes and accidentally bump into my fellow countrymen, when will that bad reputation be washed away? The Taoist immediately pulled Kan Du to the wall of the house. Pointing at the map of acupuncture points still hanging on the wall, he asks, Do you know where the acupuncture points are located? Kan Du shook his head and replied, Number. The Taoist pulled Kan Du to the front door again, then pointed. Picture of the 8 trigrams, and slowly asks, Does the donor understand all its mysteries? Kan Du panically replied, Number. At that time, the Taoist smiled generously and said, School is just a part of life, and number 39 school. Donors can master thousands of books to achieve success, but that achievement is only limited in a few areas. The donor has a few degrees, but is so afraid of what people will say that to the point of not daring to live true to himself. What else can he expect from that life? Then, looking straight into Kan Du and number 39's eyes, he said, What the donor knows is just a drop of water. What the donor dozen and hash 39 know is an ocean. Why do you care so much about praise and criticism that you let your life be dark? Then he asks, Do you want to know your future? Kan Du timidly replied, Yes. The Taoist said, The donor and number 39's fortune is very poor. However, this exam can be passed. I and number 39 am just afraid that when I and number 39 am honored, I won and number 39 see my mother anymore. Kan Du is a very kind person. Hearing that, he roared and cried. Seeing that, Cat Nha quickly grabbed a towel, then stammered and said, When you opened your eyes at birth, it was a sign of separation, so why did you cry so much? Besides, since up until now, tears have flowed down and not back up, so it is understandable that my mother continues to sacrifice. Kan Du slowed down her tears, then took Cat Nha and hash 39's hand. But the question came, Normally, you often speak simple and easy to listen to, but now you are so mysterious and profound that the heart cannot understand. What is the reason? Cat Nha immediately put her mouth to her ear, then collected all her breath. But say this and that. She sacrificed most of her life for you, so this little bit remains. Could it be that she refused? In my opinion, you should worry about your career until the end, then run back to take care of. The funeral it and number 39's better than giving up the exam and going right back to your mother and number 39's knee. Don and number 39's be so impatient to leave quickly if you still. Go then that rush 1 and number 39's help at all, because when your fate has come, how can you escape? When birth and death are somewhat determined, the higher realms are determined. How could she avoid it if she had already given her name? Kan Du and number 39's face was bloodless. I Don and number 39's know how to calculate it. It took a while for me to whisper to my mother, When I get old, I will die. Who in the world is like that thing? I was infatuated with the matter of degrees but left my mother aside, and then if the world said anything, how could I help it? Then, I turned to look at Cat Nha, then boldly asks, fame and motherly love. Which one is heavier? Cat Nha quickly glanced at the Taoist priest, then said the words that she heard from her mother and father. If you pass the exam, you will surely one day honor your ancestors. At that time, building a big tomb is also a sign of filial piety. And now you return. First, he missed out on his career and fame, and then he didn't and #39 help his mother prolong her life. And then the neighbors who valued people with a lot of money would criticize him and not bother to play with him. Only then did I stop eating the python. I just realized that life is very cloudy and rarely clear. I just realized that having a reputation means having everything. Khan Du heard that and wanted to play, but tears suddenly flowed like waterfalls, so he was startled and said, I love degrees but am not filial. With my mother, it and number 39, tomorrow. What will happen to my child? Or is it to me like a mirror being displayed before my eyes? Then he walked closer to the Taoist, and said in surprise, if you Don and number 39 pass the exam this year, then another year. If I Don and number 39 return, how can I get the will? The Taoist replied, whether you stay or go is up to the benefactor. Poor people are not decisive. If you just quit this department, you 1 and number 39 be able to pass again. Khan Du sadly said, if my mother dies and doesn't and #39 come back, then I and number 39 be wrong as a child. If you Don and number 39 achieve success and fame, you will lose your way of being a citizen in a country. There and number 39 only one person who and number 39 wronged against their mother, but when can they be repaid if they and number 39 wronged against their country? Having said that, crying is very pitiful. Seeing this, the Taoist grabbed his shoulders and softly said, I have a little affinity with the donor in my previous life, so today I will wholeheartedly help him. Then he reached into his pocket and took out a pill. Then he said to Du, now, the benefactor should hurry and send people around the clock to give this medicine to his mother in time, then life will last a few more months. By that time the donor had finished the exam, there was still enough time to reunite with his mother. Khan Du and number 39's eyes lit up when he heard that. Thinking of winning the lottery. It and number 39's hard to be happier than that, so he clasped his hands and thanked the Taoist once, then cheerfully said, debt is due, then today and number 39's kindness, I hope one day I will repay it. Replied. The Taoist immediately waved his arm, then gently said, poor Taoists do not think about gratitude, so why mention it to add to the problem? Khan Du immediately sent Cat Nha on his way quickly, then quickly excused himself from time to get to the exam school. A few days later, when the exams were over, Khan Du immediately returned to her mother, only to find out that her mother was in good health. Only then did she feel at ease. She said this and that, I thought on this trip, mother and son were separated. No wonder my mother looked as fresh as she did 3 years ago. The mother smiled and said, real medicine is different. Put one in and you and number 39 LL immediately feel happy. Don and number 39. T worry about waiting for months and days. Con Do was so happy that he didn't and #39 T know where to end it, so he clasped his hands together and bowed profusely, then happily told his mother, "People and number 39's misfortune and happiness are hard to measure. I could do it in advance, so I vow with my heart. I will never have to do anything dishonest in order to repay the favor to receive a pure gift without wasting anything." The mother suddenly frowned, then got annoyed, and scolded lightly. To his son, "If you want to be noble in life, you must remember the teachings. Honesty and integrity often lead to losses. So if you Don and number 39 T want to lose, Don and number 39 T be honest. If you show off everything, how will you know when you will be able to reach the sect?" A few days later, Con Do and number 39's mother was completely healthy and received news that her son had passed the Hong exam, so she quickly lit an incense stick to express her gratitude. Distinguishing between pros and cons. Nowadays, people often determine the value of a person based on the amount of money they earn. Now his son has succeeded and is famous. The tiger sign has names, you must be able to smile in the 9 streams. Then, she stopped for a moment to breathe, then excitedly continued, "If you live wisely, then you will be lucky enough to meet me." A person collects money and lifts a handkerchief to repair his bag. Don and number 39 T make the mistake of loving those in need, otherwise you and number 39 LL waste a lifetime of giving birth and nurturing. If you see people one seed after another but you only care for them they play around, then how can you avoid feeling sad? Body sticks night and day. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.